Picture a young Vlad growing up in Wallachia. The lands are wild and dangerous. The politics are even more dangerous. Everyone is watching everyone. The future is not safe for any ruler or prince. Early signs of betrayal. From the time he was a child, Vlad saw how loyalties changed fast. Friends could become enemies. Allies could turn on each other when they saw the chance to gain power. His own family was caught up in this web. His father, Vlad II Dracul, was a ruler, but also someone who needed support from many nobles, the Order of the Dragon, neighboring kingdoms, and even the Ottoman Empire. This meant making promises, shifting loyalties, and making decisions that were not always safe or fair. For many people in the court, being loyal to Vlad II was dangerous. There were whispers of betrayal, fear of losing favor, and power struggles. Vlad's older brother Radu, who was raised partly with influence from the powerful Ottoman Empire, saw things differently. Radu was more willing to deal with the Ottomans. Vlad saw that as betrayal, because the Ottomans threatened his family and his land. He believed that any cooperation with them was dangerous. And so Vlad's young mind began to understand betrayal, not just as betrayal of a person, but betrayal of a whole cause, of homeland, of identity. The arrest of Vlad II Dracul and Vlad's captivity, the real betrayal came like a sudden blow. Vlad's father, Dracul, believed he could balance between Hungary and the Ottomans, but both sides were untrustworthy. In one twist, the king of Hungary, Sigismund, invited Vlad II to a meeting. He pretended to want friendship or maybe negotiation, but it was a trap. Vlad II was arrested. Vlad and his brother Radu were taken as hostages. They were sent away from home, away from safety, into the hands of powerful people who might use them as tools. Walls, guards, strange lands, different customs. All this became their new reality. For Vlad, that betrayal shaped him deeply. He saw that promises from powerful leaders were fragile, that safety is often only on paper, that even family can be broken by politics. Life away from home. Captivated as a hostage, Vlad was not treated like a guest. He learned to see the world differently. He saw who was true and who lied. He saw leaders who smiled but had deceit in their eyes. He saw nobles who pledged loyalty but acted for themselves. He saw that weakness invites betrayal. When his father could not uphold all his promises, because of threats, because of lack of power, enemies saw opportunity. When Vlad's father had to bow or give tribute or negotiate with the Ottomans, many in Wallachia lost faith. Some plotted to overthrow Dracul, or to support Radu or others who might side with the Ottomans. In these years of captivity, Vlad had two big enemies. Enemies outside, like the Ottomans, and enemies inside, like nobles who did not trust or support his father fully. Some nobles hated Dracul because of his decisions. Some hated Vlad because Vlad was young, because he demanded loyalty, because he questioned wrong. All of this gave rise to betrayal. The turning point. Vlad returns. After years away, Vlad finally saw a way to return. The political situation was shaky. His father was dead. Wallachia was unstable. Certain nobles had turned against each other. Those who had betrayed or betrayed others feared retribution. That gave Vlad a chance. When he came back, he was not just a prince returning. He came back with anger, with purpose, with a memory of betrayals that cut him deep. He vowed to punish betrayal. He would not forgive those who had turned away when his family most needed loyalty. He would make sure people remembered that betrayal had consequences. Betrayal by allies and King Matthias I Vlad needed support to fight enemies, especially the Ottomans. He looked toward King Matthias Corvinus of Hungary. He hoped for help, for a loan or army, or at least safe passage or promises. But betrayal struck again. Historians think that King Matthias never fully trusted Vlad. Vlad needed money to fight the Ottomans. He asked the Hungarian king for funds or help, but Matthias hesitated. Maybe he saw danger in helping Vlad too much. Maybe Matthias wanted to avoid open conflict with the Ottomans. Maybe he feared Vlad's growing power. Then, in 1462, Vlad traveled to Hungary to meet with Matthias. Historians believe that Matthias would not give him what he promised, or delayed him. Eventually, Matthias had Vlad arrested. Yes. Betrayed by the one king. Vlad hoped would be an ally. Romania to restore Europe between East and West. King Matthias claimed Vlad had written letters promising to side with the Ottoman Sultan in exchange for getting back his throne. Historians believe the letters were forged or false. Matthias used them as a reason to keep Vlad locked in prison. Vlad did not get his chance. His enemies used his trust and desperation against him. Europe, between East and West's personal cost. How betrayal changed. Vlad had imagined Vlad at that moment. Betrayed by nobles, by his own brother, by foreign kings. He had seen death, cruelty, war. But betrayal cuts differently than swords. It makes you guarded. It changes your soul. Vlad's mind hardened. He decided that if people betray, they must fear the cost. His later reputation for cruelty, impaling, torturing, all stem partly from wanting to make betrayal dangerous. If people know the penalty of betrayal is terrible, they may stay loyal. He also realized sometimes mercy is dangerous. If someone has betrayed once, forgiving them may invite betrayal again. The world he lived in had no place for soft hearts. He built trust only in fear, in strength. He had two. He stopped trusting easily. Every handshake, every promise, a possible trap. He tested loyalty. He used spies. He rewarded loyalty, but punished betrayal harshly. His rule became one of iron betrayal in the world of politics. In Vlad's time, betrayal was everywhere. Noble families plotted with each other. Neighboring countries plotted to use Wallachia for their own advantage. Hungary. The Ottoman Empire? Transylvania. Many leaders wanted Wallachia weak or divided so that they could gain power. Nobles who had once supported Vlad II could switch sides to Radu or to others if they believed they would win. The Ottomans promised protection or rewards. Hungary gave promises. Sometimes empty. Vlad learned that betrayal was not an exception. It was part of the game. So when Vlad returned to power, his first tasks were often to root out traitors. To discover which nobles had which ones had secretly worked with the Ottomans, which ones had spread lies, which ones had betrayed family or promise. Sometimes he held dinners where betrayal was revealed. Nobles were removed. Lands were taken. Some were executed or impaled publicly to send a message. The betrayal of Radu. His brutal of the most painful betrayals was by Radu. Radu was Vlad's younger brother. But political pressure, temptations, fear, influence from the Ottomans pulled Radu in another direction. Radu grew close to the Ottoman rulers. He got their favor. He sometimes acted against Vlad's interests. Radu accepted help from the Ottomans. For Vlad, this was not just politics. This was family betrayal. Blood betrayal. Brothers should protect each other. But Radu, under pressure, under ambition, under perhaps fear, sided with those who threatened his homeland. Vlad could never forget that. Lessons Vlad took. From betrayal to rule, betrayal taught him many things. That strength matters more than promise. Those who are weak are betrayed. Those who are strong can avoid betrayal, but only if they are wary. That reputation is a weapon. If you are known as someone who punishes betrayal, people fear betraying you. That loyalty must be tested. Not blind loyalty, but tested and proven loyalty. That allies must be chosen carefully. Sometimes, even powerful kings are not reliable. That revenge or justice sometimes must be public to remind others. Building his own path. After betrayal, after this time of betrayal and captivity, Vlad's plan for rule was different. He would not rule as his father did. He would not trust as easily. He would hold his allies close, but under watch. He would build his strength first. Armies, fortresses, support from the people who truly believed in him. He built castles like Ponari. He punished noble families who had betrayed. He made examples out of traitors. He collected loyal followers. He made Wallachia stronger. but also more feared. People who saw him rising saw both hope and fear. Hope that someone would protect them from enemies and betrayal. Fear that if they crossed Vlad, even for small betrayals, the costs would be terrible. A moment of betrayal. The arrest at Visegradon's specific moment. Vlad makes his way into Hungary to meet King Matthias. Vlad expects help. Instead, he is arrested at Matthias uses the excuse of the letters. Some believe those letters were fake. Vlad is imprisoned. This shows betrayal from supposed allies. Europe between East and West while he is in prison. His enemies in Wallachia act. Nobles shift their loyalties. The Ottomans push their influence. With Vlad away, Wallachia becomes vulnerable. It shows how one act of betrayal by a king, by allies, can change the fate of a whole country. Ending Thought's betrayal shaped Vlad the Impaler more than any sword fight. He saw its cost, felt its pain, understood its power. It made him cruel. Yes, but also highly cautious, strategic, powerful. Because a ruler who cannot trust lives always under threat. And in history, sometimes what we call cruelty is just fear made real. Fear of betrayal. Fear of collapse. Fear of weakness. Vlad's betrayal was not just personal. It was political. It was about power. It was about survival.